New week, same shit. It's another fucking week of the coronavirus pandemic, and man am I getting sick of this. Remember when life was normal? It seems like so long ago, and to be fair, it has been a minute. This whole thing started in March and it's September now, so that's 6 whole months right there, and there really is no end in sight. At least here in America, because I know these countries in Europe and hell, even in China they got this shit under control. The good old US of A. Always striving to be the best. But you can't dispute the fact that we are number one. Number one in COVID cases and number one in COVID deaths. We really are the leaders of the free world. But nah, in all seriousness, why is it such an issue here? What are we doing wrong that all these other countries aren't? I think it's pretty safe to say that masks work. All the research shows that the only way this virus spreads is from person to person through the droplets that get produced by your mouth and nose. So pretty much if everybody just wore a mask when they went outside, this entire pandemic would be over. But unfortunately, that's what the issue is, because for some reason, people in America don't like wearing masks. Now, why is this the case? Because to be honest, wearing a mask really isn't that hard. I mean, it is a little bit uncomfortable, but you get used to it pretty fucking quickly. So it's not because wearing a mask is some difficult thing to do that causes people to not wear them. What it really is that Americans are just stubborn as fuck. And we always have been. Think about how this country started. With the American Revolution. The American Revolution was far different from every other revolution in history because every other revolution started because people were being severely oppressed to the point where they had no other option than to revolt. You got the Russian Revolution, which started because people were literally starving. And then there's the Haitian Revolution, which was literally a slave rebellion. People fighting for their right to not be a slave. But the reason why the American Revolution started was because, well, it was because they raised taxes on tea a little bit. And people were grabbing their muskets ready to die for that shit. It's crazy, man. Like, there really must be something in the water here in America that causes us to be so against any little infringement of our rights. Anybody who knows anything about Americans knows that if the government tells us to do something, we will not fucking do it. And that is a good thing because you shouldn't do something just because the government tells you to. But at the same time, just because the government tells you to do something doesn't automatically mean that it's bad. Like, there's usually a good reason why they're telling you to do that shit. Still though, if the government came out with a mandate for everyone to follow, a lot of Americans wouldn't follow it strictly based off of principle. Like, I swear to God, the government could come out and say, it is now required by law to breathe oxygen. And there will be people who straight up kill themselves because they would rather die than succumb to the tyranny of the government overstepping their bounds and telling us how to live our lives. Now, bringing this all back to the issue at hand of wearing masks, the reason why so many Americans are against wearing them is because it kind of felt like it was forced on us. Not only by the government, but by other citizens as well. I remember seeing a bunch of posts on social media saying shit like, if you don't wear a mask, then fuck you! You're a terrible person and you want old people to die. You bitch. Fuck you. And it's just like, yo, do you think saying shit like that is gonna win anyone over to your way of thinking? Hell no. That's only gonna make people who don't wear masks wanna wear them less, just to spite you. If you wanna win someone over to your way of thinking, you cannot do it by being an asshole, okay? Being an asshole gets you nowhere, and it really doesn't matter how much logic you have on your side. If you are condescending and judgmental towards the people who you're trying to win over, they will not want to listen to you. So instead of trying to shame people into wearing masks, we should take a more friendly approach. An approach where instead of making people feel forced to wear a mask, we make them feel like they were the ones who decided to wear one. That it was their idea. So how do we do this? Well, I would say that the first thing you need to do is step into the other person's shoes. Ask yourself, why would this person want to wear a mask? And the answer to that question is going to be slightly different for every unique person, but there still are a lot of things that we all have in common that could motivate us to wear one. For example, if we're talking about Americans, one thing that lots of Americans love is football. Football is the fucking shit, dude. We need that shit. But it's looking tough out here because the season this year is very much in jeopardy. So if you know someone who loves football but doesn't wear a mask, use that to convince them to wear one. Start out by having a friendly conversation with them about how awesome football is and how much you love it. Then say something like, Yeah, man. I really hope we could have a season this year though, you feel? Like, that's why whenever I go outside, I got my mask on, cause I'm trying to stop this spread, yo. I'm trying to see the boys play. I guarantee that if you go about it this way, the friendly way, the other person will be much more likely to wear their mask than if you scream and yell at them and call them names. And even if they don't care about football, there are plenty of other things that have been canceled because of this pandemic. So just politely remind them that the more that people wear masks, the faster we will get back to normal. Another way you can convince someone to wear a mask is by playing on their desire to protect their loved ones. Because nobody wants to be the reason why their mom got coronavirus, right? So what you can do is say something like, "Hey man, I see that you love your mom a lot, that's really awesome. It seems like you do anything for her. Maybe even take a bullet for her, yo, like, respect." So it actually kind of surprises me that you're not wearing a mask right now because your mom could be at high risk with this virus. And I know you are such an upstanding guy who truly would sacrifice anything for his mom, so maybe you would consider sacrificing your comfort for her by putting on a mask, just to be safe. Pretty much what I'm saying is that if you want to convince someone to wear a mask, you gotta be friendly with them and you gotta give them a reason that hits close to home. Don't just tell them what to do, okay? Never tell a grown adult what to do. And that is kind of a hypocritical thing for me to say because I'm telling you to not tell other people what to do. So let me rephrase that real quick. If you want to tell other people what to do, by all means go ahead. But just know that they won't fucking listen to you. Like, for example, let's say you see someone walking down the street and they're not wearing a mask, so you go up to them and say, "Hey, put a mask on." There are two possible outcomes to that situation. Either they're gonna tell you to shut the fuck up, or they're gonna say something like, oh, I'm so sorry, oh my god, let me put it on right now, oh my god, I'm so sorry, oh my god, sorry. Just so that way you do shut the fuck up, and then 30 seconds later when you both go your separate ways, they'll just take it off again. So you will have accomplished nothing. Being friendly with the other person and seeing things from their perspective will always work better than shaming them and demanding that they follow your orders. And look, even if you are super friendly and give a really good reason as to why someone should wear a mask, there still will be people who refuse to wear one. And while that is kind of frustrating, it is what it is. So don't get too caught up on whether or not other people are wearing masks, because at the end of the day, you can only control your own actions. You cannot control other people. So as Bill Belichick would say, do your job. Do your job. Worry about yourself, yo. Like, if you want to stop the spread of COVID, wear your mask. Try to limit the amount of people who you come into contact with. But don't worry about everybody else because you're simply just not going to be able to stop them from breaking the rules, yo. Like, that is a futile endeavor. Anyways though, thank you all so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, so I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's just hope this pandemic ends soon because this shit is whack. But I hope you all have a great day. Peace.